Hey everyone. Hey, how's it going? Nice to see you guys. Nice to see familiar names. So everyone can hear me. Good to see you again. Hello from Vienna. Wow, nice to see you. So it looks like everyone can hear me. You guys can see all my drawings. Then we'll get started soon. Good. So hope everyone's good. Since the last weekly outlook that I did, don't know if you guys got any trades or anything. Personally, I didn't. I'm just still in the Euro QE trade, so still holding that to see what will happen. Looks like it's going to stop. But like I said, happy to take that trade. Happy to take it over, and then we'll go over it once we'll get started with the dollars, and then we'll get down to that afterwards. Okay. So if we're all good, then let's get started. Let's get started now. So dollar index, weekly outlook I mentioned about pay attention to what's going on in the overall price here. And we see that we have this impulse correction impulse. I mentioned that we should be looking for a dollar strength. So price is pulling back here. Price is kind of hitting in this potential some sort of reason double bottom area. Obviously, it's not confirmed yet or anything. We go on the intraday, we see a potential head and shoulder as well. So this can continue drop lower. This is the time where be a little bit more patient on trying to get in, whether your bias is long or short or whatever. Um, just because it's not too clear, it might just be in the more consolidation area, something like this in upcoming days, and don't want to get trapped in here in the buy or sell because it's just going to be consolidating this area. Rather wait for a little bit more confirmation, wait for breakout if you're going for long, and wait for that correction to continue higher like this. So that's what I see on dollar, and same thing with the weekly outlook. Not much in terms of how I see it has developed into what I want to take. So that's why I'm still just on the sideline, still waiting for a little bit more development from the price. Okay, and that's why I'm more holding off on any potential entries or anything like that, just to be uh, more on the risk management side. It's just how I trade. I don't want to jump into trades where it's not fits my trading plan or anything like that. So uh, personally, just trying to be a little bit more conservative during these market conditions. Okay. First time, Mr. Jojo. Nice to see you. So let's go through the dollars pair really quick. Okay, I've been through all these in the weekly, although that's why I'm going to go a little bit faster today. So we're looking at the Aussie dollar. I mentioned that once it broke this low, you want to be careful because price is likely to form some sort of deeper correction, or it's going to. Hopefully, some of you guys already take profit if you were in this trade. And I drew all the structure like this before I took this sleep, before I slept. Just seeing what the price would do in this area. Is this going to have some sort of reversal or rejection in this area, and then potentially looking like it's going to form a structure? But price is popping up a little bit. Still, this structure can still extend or whatever it can be. The point is that we want to see it from a price action point of view. Looking at the intraday charts, are we going to get some sort of reversal here or some sort of bearish price action that, when we zoom on a higher time frame, this can just be a deeper correction and price can continue down lower. So same thing with the dollar index, just be a little bit more patient on this. I'm I'm more interested in the buy or interested in the sell at this point. Okay, just because price had this move up doesn't mean it's going to continue. If it's going to continue, it's going to form a correction. If it's going to form something like this, be to continue the upside. Whereas if it's going to continue lower, where my bias was from the top, then wait for a larger correction here before the sell. Okay, sorry guys, got caught up with something. Do you see any FX pair with 3-to-1 risk right now? Not necessarily, to be honest. I'll go over them if you don't mind waiting for a few minutes. I'll go over them relatively quick. I don't see any, at least on my setups or how I would trade. So Kiwi dollar, very similar like Aussie dollar. Um, we see it from, again, we're at this point where we're at the lows now, and price is really reacting to this low. We had this drop down all the way. There was a correction to get in as well, and price is just in this kind of a sideways consolidation. Okay, there's not too clear, again, for my liking, that uh, I'm obviously biased for the sell and the strength on the dollar, but I just think that there's going to develop a little bit more correction here if it's going to continue. And the buy, I'm not too interested in the buy here. And zooming in a little bit, if we look closely here, what is that? It's just in the more consolidation correction. Okay, I'm looking at this as this potentially was potential sell from this impulse correction impulse, but we didn't see price break below this hit point. That's why forming a correction here to correct this a lot better. Okay, so don't worry about why is the price in this consolidation area. We want to pay attention to when the price is ready. When the correction is over, when the consolidation period is over, then we're going to get a more clear kind of price action. Is it going to go down? Then wait for the price to break down, look for another lower time frame correction to sell this to continue down to the next low. Okay, very good risk reward on this one. And if it's going to continue upwards, then it's going to break out this consolidation period and then look for the next buy like this. But ultimately, when the price, if it's going to go up like this, then I'm still looking for the sell like that. Looking at the higher time frame, it's just going to match what the price has been doing all the time. We're going to push the price up before the next drop, pushing the price up in this ascending channel before the next drop, and looking like what we're at here in terms of price action. Very similar. We had this M style pattern, top of the overall structure, top of the price action, double top, we see the price drop down. That's why I still have a very good bias for the continuation. It's just that we're at this low, and then looking like this can be a head and shoulder, and we might form a deeper correction. Still a continuation correction for this move, and then continue downwards to the next low. So that's Kiwi dollar. Let's what other dollar pairs. Major pips, I made it to the live. What time zone are you at, by the way? So let's go euro dollar. Sorry, I got caught up. Euro dollar. In the weekly outlook, I mentioned we had this impulse down, and what I not liking about the price action that it was forming like this descending channel, right? So really, price was reacting to this structure, and then we had this bullish push up, and it's at this point where I'm same thing with a lot of dollar pairs that I'm just looking at this as the overall structure potentially, and seeing what the price will do in this area. I still like the overall kind of breakout from this higher time frame structure, and then potentially forming a deeper. Okay, and looking at what the price is, we had this pretty impulsive move during the London and New York time now, right? And obviously, I'm not just going to jump into any sell like this. Just wanted to see what the price will do. Is it going to continue a little bit higher and then come back up and then forming a bearish kind of price action? Happy to just let the trade run, right? I'm not in the trade, so no risk there. Just seeing a little bit more development in this area before consider a potential sell like this. Moving on to pound dollar. 9 a.m. here. 9 a.m. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm from Vancouver. I'm 8 a.m. here. Okay. So pound dollar. Those of you knew I took a pound dollar trade, and then got tagged out for a one-to-one profit. Sorry. I'm still liking the overall price action. I still want to see a bearish push out of this overall high time frame channel. And because we impulse so much, we had a correction, and this potentially could be another correction. It's just going to take a little bit longer to find out. Not going to be jumping into the trade until I see this breakout here, and then a correction here to take a trade. Just because we're at the bottom of the channel and there's a lot of is going to react to the bottom here and then slowly begin to have a bullish momentum. It just means that this overall structure is still valid. We're just getting a deeper correction back to the top even, or back to the middle here to form a deeper correction here before the drop. And don't jump into the trade with the price direction here. Whereas this is a very clear impulse correction, and then this was the sell I took that I managed to get out just for a little bit of profit. Whereas this is not too clear because we're in the correction now. Okay, you want to see the impulse out of that correction, and then lower time frame continuation. It's going to work. It's going to show you that the higher time frame, we broke out the higher time frame structure, and then lower time frame correction to continue to the lows. So that's pound dollar. Again, most of these ones not going to be ready today or even this week, even perhaps. Just going through them for more high time frame in terms of that. Not interested in all the short-term buy. That's just how I trade. I'm not looking into jump in and jump out if it's not going to give me enough risk reward. So 1 second, guys. Okay, that's weird by accident. So let's look at dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, remember when I mentioned that when there is a buy opportunity out of this correction here, I think some of you guys got in here in my group. Hopefully you move it to break even and whatnot, because we're getting this another push up and I like the overall price. We had this impulse correction impulse, and in the weekly outlook I was mentioning we might be looking for a deeper correction here, something similar like this size or whatever, but looks like we're getting a little bit more bullish opportunity. I like this kind of a little bit of a lower time frame correction to correct this move, and if we break this high and this high overall, which is where the price is at now, if we break up and then there's more correction to come up, then yeah, I do think this could be continued push up. This may be all the correction we need to break this previous high here and then continue the bullish opportunity here. So that's what I see on dollar CAD. So those of you in the trade, I would see to hold this trade if you got into this area and then see what the price do in this top area here. And ultimately, because we broke out this higher time frame, this descending channel, and I like the overall impulse correction. Sorry, and if this is the correction to push the higher, and then we break the previous high, then look for more correction to continue up to the previous high. Okay, that's what I see on dollar CAD. So let's move on to dollar Swiss. Yeah, someone asked me to go update this one. So remember, we talk about here. Okay, we broke the highs here, and was there a correction? Was there a continuation correction on the lower time frame to continue this buy move? Personally, I didn't see that. Okay, I want to see a more tangible correction here, something that's going to form in to continue this bullish opportunity. Is in the trade somewhere here or somewhere here, then look to take profit or look to move your stop, whatever. How I see this now is, don't discount the fact that this can be just pulling back to form a deeper correction. So if we had this impulse, we had this larger, deeper correction before the next impulse. So looking how to see this had a bearish move on the lower time frame, but who to say that this can form something like this to continue higher? Right? Just a simple structure, simple correction here, something like this, and then the next bullish push like that. So don't discount that for now, okay? But just keep an eye on it. Keep keep on it, set your alerts or whatever. I want to wait for a deeper structure. I won't just be buying here anyways. This to me is not a structure. It's just like a pullback. I want to see a little bit more structurally, some swing high and swing low, and then for the buy move. So dollar peso, where are you right now? Sorry, I'm in Vancouver, Canada. Good day, nice to see you. Yes, sorry, I got to zoom out here for a little bit. So let's go continue here, dollar peso. Like the overall structure, and I mentioned that we could be forming a deeper correction here on the weekly outlook. We had this buy move, we had this descending channel, and then another descending channel here. So this buy from the bottom here is very valid. And I mentioned some guy messaged me that he got in this buy just a clear breakout from the lower time frame, descending channel, and then we had this continuation correction. We popped to the upside. It looks to me that it's just forming a deeper correction here. So if we see a deeper correction here to complete, do see another buy move, but to me it's going to be a little bit limited. We're approaching the previous top now, and how I see this on a higher time frame perspective, I want to see this push to the upside and then see what the price would react to this area, because I still see this is a clear impulse from a higher time frame and a higher time frame continuation correction structure, and we're looking to see the next bearish move like this. Okay, and that's why I mentioned all these buy move at least to the top. You could get some risk reward here, as long as for me, if I cannot get 3 to 1 in this, and I'm not looking to enter. So that's dollar peso. And mentioned, remember in the weekly outlook, someone asked me, was this the potential buy setup? And my answer was at the time, and I want to wait for a little bit deeper correction because this is such a strong bullish push to the upside. And even though we break the high, okay, we're at the highs here, just waiting for a stronger, deeper correction that will actually shows that this move is going to continue. Okay, whereas we're pulling back here now, we're pretty much at the previous top. Again, same as the dollar Swiss I mentioned. Okay, don't discount the fact that this can form some sort of structure here. Okay, something a reversal pattern of a descending channel, and we can continue like this. This could just be a pullback or a correction for this move, and then we'll continue going upwards. So that's why I see a dollar Singapore. That is pretty much all the dollar pairs I'm looking at for this upcoming 24-40 hours. If you guys have any questions, happy to answer them. And I'm going to start jumping through the other ones. Took a little bit longer by accident, but other ones like yen pairs or anything, don't see too much setup still. So happy to go over them a little bit faster. In which position are you in? Sorry, I'm only Euro Kiwi. Euro Kiwi is the position I'm in. I'll go over that once I jump to it. So let's continue here. Aussie CAD, just an update. Remember in weekly outlook, I mentioned that when price reach to the low area, you're gonna be careful if you're in the sell, because price can easily pull back, which is what it is doing now. Okay, and I draw the structure out again to see what the price will react to this general area. And if it was going to react in this general area, we see some bearish push down, then yeah, I do think the structure was forming as a continuation for this move. But now that we see the price pop to the upside, and you can see that when we pop to the upside and you see this kind of lower time frame correction, and that's a signal from the market that, hey, this bear is no longer valid because this correction did not form to continue this move, and we're getting this reversal opportunity up now, and price is middle of this area really. Not too interesting once it's already in the middle of this area. If I want to make a and then really looking at the price to do what it will do at this kind of previous top area, and potentially just looking for the next sell like this. You can see that price is just in this overall ranging kind of market. If you zoom out here on the higher time frame wise, we're just in this kind of a ranging or zoning, whatever you want to call this consolidation period. Usually not going to be interesting when the price is in this consolidation period. It's not that you can't make profit here. I'm sure there's some of you guys calling this sell, right? I think some of you guys mentioned this in the group, and it's not that you can make money in this. It's just that the buy or the sell is usually going to be limited until we see the confirmation that it's going to break below, and then some sort of correction to push down lower. Or if it's going to break up, then some sort of correction to push up. Otherwise, it's just going to be in this sideways consolidation ranging area. And for me personally, I just don't want to get stuck in a trade that is going to be ranging. It's not that it won't go up and down. It's just I don't like that period of consolidation that could potentially just take you out from spread, or put you in a emotional drama, right? Because you're seeing profit comes or profit go. You want to be entering when there is a strong bullish kind of impulse or bearish impulse where prices in the consolidation period, in a impulsive phase of the market, and then you want to get in there where the price is going to move very fast. Okay. CAD yuan, did you go over euro dollar? I went over euro dollar, yes. Euro dollar, it's just that I personally mentioned this in the weekly outlook. We're in this kind of a descending kind of channel, and then price popped to the upside, and just wait to see what the price will do maybe in this area. Is it going to find some sort of top here to form a correction? If not, if it's going to continue up, then happy to just sit when this one forward. So that's what I see on euro dollar. Good morning. Good morning. What do I think about gold? I'll go over gold after the currency pairs, if you don't mind waiting. So let's go on. Let's move on. Aussie yen. So very similar. I was drawing out the structure here just to see what the price will do. Is it going to form a correction here to continue downwards? Then we see price pop to the upside, right? So this is just a clear correction, clear kind of a indication that we may not get this push to the bottom. Okay, I was looking at this to hit the bottom here to complete the overall structure like this, but we could potentially see a reversal now. Okay, maybe price is reacting to the lows here, and we're potentially getting this reversal out now. So if it's going to form a correction here to continue, then yeah, I do see that a potential push off on the Aussie is likable. But if we zoom out on the higher time frame, and I went over this for Aussie dollar as well, we overall correction, right? This is the very clear ascending kind of structure. Had a push out and then had a correction here before the next drop. Okay, who to say that we are not doing the same here? If we zoom in here a little bit, we had the same kind of ascending kind of channel formation just like this. We had this bearish impulse, and it took about at least a week or two to form this correction. So maybe likely to form a correction here as well, and then looking for the next bearish push. Okay, very similar here, right? Price action. It's going to show you the same indication over and over again. Every time when you see these kind of ascending kind of a structure or price action, price is just correcting itself for the next push. So very likely to see that as well, but just need time to develop, need a little bit more patient, and be a little bit more on the sideline for this. Okay, price is not going to move that fast. That's going to catch you off guard. Okay, something like this obviously doesn't happen. This is the COVID time, right? A lot of markets are dropping. But if we're not in this kind of a COVID period, but we have this similar price action here, definitely going to have time for you to capitalize all these potential profit here. Okay, so that's why my advice to everyone: don't just jump into trade too often. Just looking for a better setup. NASDAQ, I'll go over that after, okay? I just have to finish currency pair first if you guys don't mind. So let's look at CAD yen. So CAD yen looking still very clean. Again, waiting for the correct development, right? We had this clear impulse. This is a clear impulse breaking, looking like we're forming a correction here. So waiting for this correction to complete. Okay, I do like the overall structure here. I do like the lower time frame that we're just in a period of consolidation. This is just a very good indication that this is a correction for this move all the way down. And once the price is complete, we could look for the next sell down like that. So that's CAD yen. Euro yen. So Euro yen popped to the upside, right? I was looking for this as a potential structure again. And if we zoom out here on the lower time frame, this is why looking for confirmation is key, guys. You guys will hear me this repeat in all my educational videos or on my Telegram channel, is that yes, I do see there's a channel here, and I like the sell opportunity if we get the correction, but is there confirmation yet from the market? We are consolidating here. Potentially this could be forming some sort of reversal, but do we get a first push down or first correction push down or something like this information from the market? If I didn't see that, then that doesn't confirm that we have this correction. Then it fall to the upside, and that is what happens, right? And you can be wrong on your forecast, you can be wrong on your analysis, and that is fine, guys. As long as you are wrong in your forecast and you think this is guaranteed to drop like this, and you're just going to enter a trade here prematurely because you're hoping that the trade will go down like this, but you haven't get a confirmation from the market, then you gotta work on that, right? Work on the trading psychology there, guys. Okay, trading at the you're actually based on your strategy and your style. So work on that. Don't let the emotion get to you. Okay. Do I think CAD will be ready tomorrow? Can't really answer that. It's just really how long the market will develop into. Okay. I want to see a little bit more confirmation in terms of clarity. Can it pop to the upside? Can it have a strong bearish push out? I'm only really interested if I see a push out here and then lower time frame continuation like that. I'm not looking to just enter the sell here or enter some sort of bigger stop loss like this. I want to see the confirmation breakout like that. It might take a day, it might take 2 days, or it might take longer. This correction can go on forever, right? It can even drop down like this and go up like this because the correction is still extending. And just because I draw the line like this doesn't mean that if I break out of this line and suddenly we have bearish move, right? The line is just where the structure is at currently like this, and there's nothing wrong with the structure extending like that. Impulse, correction, impulse, right? So I mentioned about structure is ever evolving, right? Patterns are ever changing until they're complete. Now we're not 100% sure that this move is going to go down like that. Yen, not much going on. If you guys recall, pound yen, I got stopped out for just a break even, enter the sell here, and then was looking at this was going to form some sort of continuation correction for this move, and then pop to the upside. So thank me off for break even. Overall, when I look back at this and zooming out here, we might be forming a larger correction. Okay, this is just one possibility of pound yen. I still like the overall higher time frame. This is clearly an impulse correction. We're getting another impulse. It just may take a little bit longer to form another correction here to continue the move. So still going to be on the sideline for this. This to me is not yet a structure or anything. I want to see maybe a push down lower and then push up, something like this, a potential double top, potential kind of a correction, and then looking for the next sell like that. But for now, happy to be just a little bit more patient on this one, to be on the sideline. Just looking at the overall price action, may need a little bit longer time to develop in this area. So Kiwi yen. Kiwi yen, we're at this bottom here now. Okay, we're looking at the prices reacting to the lows here. And I mentioned this on the weekly outlook that because we're sitting, okay, price action wise, we're potentially looking at this as a double bottom. And when the price was up here, I mentioned wait to see what the price will do once we hit this area, because zooming on the high time frame, this could be still an impulse. This is a continuation correction, and if we get bullish opportunity here on the lower time frame, this potentially could move up. Okay, so zooming into intraday charts, looking like price is finding a bottom here. If we zoom into here, that there is a correction here. Nevertheless, this is still an impulse on the lower time frame, correction here, and then we have another impulse. So price looking like it's a consolidating here, so another lower time frame continuation to push the price up. What I like about Kiwi yen, at least compared to a few other yen pairs, this is why I'm a little bit more patient on the yens. While I do think the yen strength is going to continue, like CAD yen, Euro yen, pound yen, things like that, showing the opposite. Okay, this could be that the Kiwi is getting strength, whatever the case, but I don't like conflicting kind of correlations, especially when I look at Aussie yen and Kiwi yen, we're literally correlated, whereas I see Aussie yen is having a clear impulse and waiting for a continuation correction to continue lower, and Kiwi yen is showing me differently, is showing me a potential reversal. Okay, that's why I want to wait for just a little bit more price development in any of the yen pairs, especially the one that's going to be correlated, to give me a little bit more clarity on the pairs that I'm going to enter. So, but for now, looking like this can continue a little bit higher, but is it going to continue all the way up to the high, or is it going to react to this area, maybe forming a structure like this, right? Impulse, correction, and then impulse out of this overall higher time frame structure. So that's what I see on Kiwi yen. So moving on to Euro Aussie. So Euro Aussie, still interested in this trade. I still think is a potential. Okay, uh, I made an analysis on this one. Just like the overall kind of correctional structure, we had this impulse down from the previous previous push up from the COVID, and then we reversed back down. We're finally getting a deeper, longer structure since June. Just I want to see a little bit more clarity. You see there's a lot of consolidation here. Prices just a lot of buyers are selling in this area. And I mentioned I want to see a breakdown here. I want to see a continuation correction. We just didn't see that continuation correction still. Okay, the clear breakout and a clear lower time frame continuation to continue. Still didn't see that. Still really reacting to this area. And but still don't discount this one. I just like the higher time frame still. I like the higher time frame kind of a rejection here in this kind of fashion. So that's why I see on Euro Aussie. Some of you guys are asking Euro Kiwi. Yeah, I'm gonna go over Euro Kiwi now. Euro Kiwi, I'm still in. Okay, I'm still in Euro Kiwi. This is what I see on Euro Kiwi. I think some of you guys are still in, or maybe you guys got stop out for break even. Not too sure. Personally, I'm still holding this. I'm even going to hold it if I take a loss, and I'll explain this why. Euro Kiwi is probably my favorite one for today. It's the only trade I'm in now, actually, and I like the overall high time frame. I still see this as a clear impulse down. We're forming a larger kind of continuation correction. This is potentially a W style pattern that can continue lower, and it evolves into an M style pattern that I can see to continue lower as well. So that's what I like about the trade. I like the confluences. I like the risk reward. Happy to take a loss because even if I take a loss here and the price continue up higher, and if it's going to react to this double top area, I'll still look for a sell because this becomes a lower time frame M style pattern, and we're at the top of these overall price action. So so that's what I meant by okay to hold the trade. I didn't even set it to break even, so looking to see what the price will do. Is it going to break below higher now, and then and happy to take a loss, like I said, and then looking for the next sell opportunity from the top like that. So that's Kiwi. Can you show where do you have your stop loss? That's exactly where I have my stop loss. Where the number shows. So all good. So it looks like everyone's asking Euro Kiwi, right? So that's Euro Kiwi for me. Okay. So moving on to other ones. Kiwi Cat. So yeah, Kiwi Cat. We found in my weekly outlook. I mentioned again double bottom here potentially. Right. This make sure to take off and move your stop because we see this in potential correction here on the lower time frame. We had an impulse correction. The price is just reacting to that. So very likely that we can continue get a correctional structure to push the price up. And the way how I see it is this a head and shoulder pattern? And then we could potentially react to, relatively in this area, how the head and shoulder pattern, the right shoulder side would develop. That's the only thing I need to worry about. Other than that, very likely, very high probability that we can see this continue up to the previous top like this. Okay, we'll reevaluate to see what the price will do. Very similar like Aussie Cat, where if we zoom out here, we're just in this kind of a sideways consolidation period. There is obviously trade to go up and down, but they're somewhat limited in that sense. Okay, so be careful if you're in these trades. Move your stop accordingly like that. So let's move on to Pound Aussie. So Pound Aussie, someone asked me to update this. It just wasn't on my main watch list, but I'll update this anyways. Zooming on the higher time frame, I still like that. We still have this impulse, which is having a larger correction. and it's just not too clear what the price is going to do in this general area. Can we see a potential push down? I do see this is a pretty strong bearish push on the lower time frame, continuation correction, pushing the price down, continue lower like this, and then for potentially fulfilling this overall structure. To me, pound Kiwi is a little bit more clear. I'll go over pound Kiwi. Pound Kiwi, I made the analysis here, was looking at a potential sell opportunity here. But I got into Kiwi, that's a nice pop to the upside. But for me, a potential structure here, a potential reversal structure. Now you can see this ascending kind of a formation. We're reacting to this previous top, and looking like price had this impulse down, which is good. So on the lower time frame, are we going to get any continuation here to continue the move? To this low, is it going to be enough risk reward here? Personally, I will be looking for this trade here if I was going to be in pound Kiwi and looking for this reward down to the previous low. That will fit my trading plan to have 80s 3 or 4 to 1 at a minimum to look for this sell setup here. So that's pound Kiwi. So that's all the currency pairs. Sorry, I really took longer than I expected, but let's jump into any questions on any of these ones before I jump into commodities. Not too much in commodities. Natural gas. Someone asked me to up the natural gas. When I see the price, when I had this before, when I see this bearish push down, and I was looking for, is there going to form continuation? These small impulses down. Excuse me, guys. Impulses down. There's not really correction for me to correct this move. So when we, and then, looking at the lower time frame, you get this kind of a reversal correction to actually correct the price up. So we would, for me personally, really won't be touching this. We'll see. If I want to make a forecast, I do see the impulse. This is maybe a larger correction. Can we get a push up on here and then continue upward? If we zoom out here now, the risk reward gets better now because we're still quite a bit of distance to the previous high. This is the high that I mentioned a couple weeks ago. If someone was in natural gas, that you want to worry what the price would do in this general top area. So, but the price has been kind of correcting down already. So we have enough space. We have enough risk reward. If you get a pop to the upside, look for this lower time frame correction to the buy. Soybean. Soybean is good. When do you plan your next session? Maybe a London session on Thursday morning. I'll update that in my Telegram channel. I'll post the links here. I'll post my Telegram channel here, just so if you want to catch to that. I post all the updates and links. It's just easier to forward everything. Went over Euro Kiwi already, by the way. So U.S. oil, I'll go over that after. So soybean, looking at it from a higher time frame perspective, remember I was mentioning that when we see the price broke out of the larger structure, just waiting for a first impulse down. Really, even if we broke out of the structure, and I mentioned that if I see a clear impulse down back into the correction, still be a valid kind of a potential position. So let's dive in a little bit. What I like about this is the structure, but we broke out it in some of the ascending kind of channel formation, and then finally we had this clear impulse down, breaking out of the structure, and then the potential correction here. We still have a lot of room to the downside. I do think this potential sell is reasonable, and then resuming to frame. I like that we have so much room to the structure down. Okay, but I want to see a little bit more confirmation from the price to continue to lower. But this is just more of a higher time frame, kind of a more long-term approach. I like this overall structurally. If we zoom out on the higher time frame, this is just an overall structure to correct this move, and then we could potentially see the next down move like this. Okay, overall, higher time frame wise, we're just in this overall downtrend. We're in this downtrend since this area, right? We have this impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, larger correction. So looking for the next impulse like this. So moving on to, let's go. Oil, right? Someone asked me. Someone asked about U.S. oil. Yeah. So I think I went over this in weekly outlook. I wasn't too interested in the sell. Okay, I wasn't too, even though I saw a potential. This is an impulse correction, and then looking for the next impulse. But I personally was looking for a little bit more development. And don't get me wrong, this is why I drew this in the weekly outlook. Is that I do see this potential to go down. Okay, really just looking at what this is an impulsive move, and I was waiting for a larger correction. And this was the correction that I was trying to wait to see a bigger correction develop. Didn't develop, but now we pushed to the upside like this. So if you get a lower time frame correction here, then this will be a little bit better sell than trying to sell from here. Then look to see the sell down to the previous low. Still going to be pretty good risk reward if you want to be jumping into this one. I do like the overall structure now and the price action. And if we're looking at this, if price does continue lower, and if we can break the low here, then looking for the next previous low to be a potential target. So that's what I see on US oil. So same thing with UK oil, I'm sure. So let's go over gold. Someone asked me to update gold. So this is really why I mentioned, look for the price action to give you a little bit more confirmation, right? Those of you who follow me, I got into this gold sell here, right? We had this correction here, looking for the trade down to the lows here, right? And then just looking to exit the trade because I know that the price is likely to react to a bottom here, and then if you get any kind of reversal correction or continuation correction to push the price up, then it looks like it is going to have a reversal kind of price action. But don't discount again that this can be forming some sort of larger structure just to correct this move. You see how the previous correction is all pretty sizable anyways after a strong impulse. So look for a deeper correction to develop, and that's why I mentioned in my weekly outlook I won't be interested in the buy anyways. I still see this as a correction to correct this move, and once the correction is over, I could potentially see the next sell move. Okay, and that's why taking profit here and then don't give profit back to the market is more ideal, even though I do have a bias for the sell, but I just don't want to be trapped in this consolidation area where a potential 4-to-1 trade could end up into a 2-to-1. Just doesn't fit my trading plan. Happy to take if it's going to continue lower, that's going to miss some profit, but I'll wait for another correction to get in. Okay, I'm fine missing the profit here. For me, it's all about consistency, getting into a trade at least 3-to-1, 4-to-1 on average, and get out of the trade. And then if it's going to continue, then look to get your profit like this over and over again. So that's all the commodities, guys. That's all the commodities I'm going to go over. Let's go over the indices if you guys have no questions on those. So let's go over a few indices. I'm just gonna go over the ones that looks interesting to me, right? As you guys know, I still see this is I will update this in my Telegram channel when I see Nasdaq and S&P. I still see this as an impulse. This could potentially be a larger correction. Okay, then I mentioned I want to see what the price would do in this general top area. Is it going to have some sort of reversal or some sort of bearish price action? So far, it's not really too clear. Okay, it is slowing down, but it could just be a correction to push up, right? So I just want to wait a little bit longer to see what the price will do in this general area, and then look to see is this going to be a structure, a continuation structure to correct this move, and looking for the next move like this. Okay, P500, looking to see what the price will do in this general high area, and then looking for a continuation down like this. US 30, potentially we are forming this structure. Okay, it's not too complete yet or anything, but potentially we are the kind of structure to correct this move. And looking into the intraday or lower time frame, sorry, this looks to me is a head and shoulder pattern. There was a potential sell setup if you're into this kind of sell, just down to a low as a potential target. For now, it looks pretty. So making that the price action, we broke out this higher time frame structure. We had this impulse, correction, looking for the next impulse down to the lows here. That's what I see on US 30. German 30, right? Someone asked about German 30, GER 30. Yes. So remember in a weekly outlook, I mentioned that most of these, at least the European indices, that were in this kind of a descending channel, right? France 40, Euro, all this kind of descending channel, and I want to see what the price will do once we reach the top, right? So it looks like price is reacting to this top, and potentially if we zoom out here, that is this going to be a correction here that's forming? It's not too clear. It's a little bit more slanted, but if we get a top here, if it looks like this is looking like this is the first bearish impulse, this could be a correction here to continue lower. Could be potentially sell just to see the lows here and see what the price will do. Higher time frame wise, I mean, obviously still talking about a bearish kind of a move, right? Just want to be a little bit more clear here on the lower time frame or intraday to really confirm that push down. So down to the lows here and reevaluate to see what the price will do. So that is German 30. Thank you for the analysis. I appreciate it. Indices before month end window dressing. So that's all the indices I'm looking at actually, and I don't see too much that is pop up to my eye. Okay, so not too much is going on in these ones. Yeah, that's that I'm talking about. No other questions, then I will jump into crypto last. I'll finish crypto last, just a few that I'm looking at for this upcoming 24, 48 hours. So let's go get started. Okay, I didn't post analysis on this one, but I still think, still waiting for this kind of confirmation from the market. Just want to see a bullish push to the upside. Okay, bullish push to the upside and then lower time frame correction to continue. Okay, we're right back out to the previous low now. Okay, we had this strong, really a strong, deep descending channel right back to the bottom. But I like the overall price action. Okay, I like the overall structure that it's making. It's really just reacting to the lows here. So waiting for a breakout, waiting for a correction would be more ideal. Link made analysis here. I like this a lot better than Dash. Actually got in a few of these buys here. So anyways, we had this bullish push to the upside, a really deep, you can call this a flag structure or a channel structure, whatever it is forming a correction. What I like about it is that there is a few more kind of a reversal structure in between. We had this descending channel on a lower time frame. We broke the previous low. We had a strong bullish impulse, and then looking at this as on the lower time frame, potentially forming a continuation correction here. To me, if it breaks out here, this could be a valid buy already. But personally, I would be looking for the confirmation breakout, confirmation correction, and look for really push the price up to the previous high. Okay, lots of risk reward on this one, so I'll be a little bit more patient. I'm happy to miss some profit here. Okay, this is just how I trade. I'm not going to just jump into this, even though I do think it's a valid buy. Don't get me wrong. This is a clear impulse, clear correction to buy. Personally, risk management wise, I want to wait for just one more two more confirmation, breakout, and then lower time frame correction to look for a buy. I'll get away, so I'm not too worried about missing 1 or 2%. So that's why I see a link. Excuse me for the insight. Appreciate the support. So last two I want to go over is Ripple Bitcoin. So not pretty similar than the weekly outlook I mentioned. Still looking at this as a clear impulse, just a sideways continuation correction. Lots of correction here, but again, waiting for the breakout is always going to be the key. I mentioned that this could be a buy here, but very similar like Link is the confirmation would be that breakout, right? Confirmation breakout, confirmation correction, and look to see what the price would do to the next recent top, which is in this area. So again, lots of risk reward. And even if you zoom out on the higher time frame, we're just at the bottom of this overall higher time frame descending channel. So much room to the upside you're looking at to hold this for long term, right? For me, crypto, I'm only interested in long term buy anyways. So holding a trade down here for the buy would be much better, right? In the months or years to come. So that's real Bitcoin. Ripple, very similar. In fact, a little bit better than Ripple Bitcoin, but needs to also need a little bit more development. We had this impulse correction, descending channel correction. Very likely it's a continuation correction to correct this move, and we could potentially get the next push up to at a minimum. And again, zooming out on the higher time frame, look how much space we have for the next push up. Right, this is clearly to me is a reversal on the higher time frame. Right, we're already at the bottom here. Okay, we're already at the bottom of the overall structure. Right, price is already reacting to this low here, kind of channel structure, and just pretty much looking for the next bullish push up. Okay, so the scale on obviously scale on crypto is a little bit off, right? Anyways, there's so much room to the upside. It's just that you want to wait for a the edge in the market, because price likely can just consolidate here a while longer, and you don't want to get trapped into this overall kind of consolidation where price will fluctuate like this, right? You see move down and move up, whatever. Just waiting for the confirmation. It's okay to miss some profit, right? But you just have to see it from a scale point of view, is that I don't mind missing this much profit or this much profit if I can get in a confirmation trade that have good risk reward or whatever. And I'm looking for the next push up that will give you so much more profit, right? It's just how you, it's about your perception in trading, right, guys? It's not about trying to hit 0 to 100. I mentioned a lot of times. It's about being consistent in trading, consistent making returns, and consistent in compounding your account. Okay. So that is all the crypto that I'm looking at. Okay. Any questions, guys? I went over all the markets, and anything you want me to re-go over quick, I can go over that quickly. Or any questions you guys have, I'm happy to answer as well. Stocks that you seem to be interesting. Yeah, I have a few that are interesting, but I probably won't be taking them anyway, so I'll give you my breakdown. Yeah, but they're all gonna be bearish anyway, so I just give you guys a heads up, and I won't be entering them anyways, but I'll give you my insights on a few that I thought will have some potential. So we had this overall impulse correction, right? I mentioned these Berkshire Hathaway a few times in my stream. Just like the overall structure, we broke down now. Is this some sort of correction that's forming? Very likely. Okay, so I do see a bearish push down like this is possible. Okay, but I personally just won't be getting into these kind of a short sell anyways. Okay. Nike would be interesting, by the way. If one at least a buy stock at least for equities. I like the overall push up, right? We mentioned this is a gapping here, and then price can consolidate here a little bit longer. But I like this push up. I like this can be a continuation correction. So just to see what the price will do, is it going to consolidate a little bit longer and then get that first push up to continue? Or if it's going to continue to look for some sort of lower time frame here to continue. Personally, I want to wait for a little bit more development, a little bit more push down. That would mean that at least even just to the previous high here. Okay, just so that, because usually when I see for stocks when they gap, uh, they tend to fill the gap before they push up. Not always, but I see it's just I see this a lot of time. So that's what I see on Nike and QQQ. Yeah, well, I have QQQ. I think. Yeah. Yeah, for QQQ wise, a lot of QQQ posts in TradingView. Um, I'll go over euro dollar after Marshall in a second, if you don't mind. QQQ, yeah, sorry, back on track here. Potentially have a little bit more bearish continuation. Sorry, we had this overall impulse up already, right? Very impulsively, and instead of continue upwards, this to me that is a reversal bearish push. This could be a correction here, and we push down once more, and potentially forming another correction here. So what the price will do to react to this area, just want to be a little bit more careful here. See what the price will do. Is it going to continue like this, making this a larger structure to correct this move, and potentially moving down like this? And that's what I see on QQQ. This one has been popped out a lot. Like I said, on TradingView, I see a lot of these posts on QQQ. So that is that. So euro dollar. I'll go over those after euro dollar if you don't mind. Sorry, let me turn this off. Fax machine sound. Euro dollar, yes. So Marshall, if you're there, euro dollar. I mentioned this that we're looking at this as a potential descending channel in my weekly low look, and I mentioned that that's why it's kind of not too interesting to just jump into the sell. Whereas I have a bias in the sell, but I just need a little bit more confirmation. And when we see price pop to the upside like this, I mentioned about I want to see what will happen to this kind of a general top area. Is it going to find some sort of potential reversal or potential bearish kind of price action? Okay, because this can easily turn into a little bit deeper structure, deeper expanding structure, and then correcting this move, and then potentially see the next down move. Okay, so that's what I see on euro dollar. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm not sick. Sorry, I'm not actually sick. I have a nose allergy. So those of you guys, I know I keep sniffing around like this. I just have a nose allergy. It always bothered me, especially I live in Vancouver. It's just the weather change, the temperature change quite often. Like, and then sometimes in the morning, my nose gets really stuffy. Okay, that's why I keep sniffing like this. Okay, and apologize on that. I don't do it on purpose, but it's just like in the morning sometimes like I can't help it. So yeah, appreciate the support though. I appreciate it. I'm not. And, New York Wall Street calling. Okay, I'll go over a few of these stocks that you asked: Tesla, Walmart, Shop, or V. Sure. So yeah, Tesla. Yeah, went over this in the weekly outlook. I mentioned that I could potentially see this as just a larger structure or larger correction that's developing. A little bit bigger than this one here that we saw previously. But to me, this can just be consolidated here a little bit longer, okay, before the next push up. Definitely see the continuation on this. If we just zoom out here on the higher time frame, clearly we are just in the bullish trend, right? We had the bullish push correction, bullish push correction, bullish push correction. just waiting for price to consolidate here a little bit longer before the next buy move. I personally got in that buy. Remember, if you guys were following before, but I got tagged out here once the price dropped down from here. But I'm still going to be looking for the buy for long term, anyways. Just waiting for a little bit more development for the price. I want to see maybe another push down to here before the push up, and then lower time frame to buy. This will be almost my buy, very much identical to this previous buy that I got in. Right, we had this bullish push up, large first bullish push out, first lower time frame correction for the buy. It's just that simple, right, guys? So looking for this next buy here would be very good risk reward to hold for long term. That's what I see on Tesla. Walmart. Thank you. Stay healthy, everyone, as well. Okay, I do. So Walmart. I haven't seen Walmart for a while, so give me a second to kind of look at what's doing. So I remember during this period of time, yeah, maybe mid-August, someone asked me, and I mentioned about I like the fact that we had this kind of overall kind of continuation. If we see that we had a push up correction, and then we had another push up. But what I see here in terms of this price action is that we are not getting a correction here. More like this looks to me that this is a reverse impulse and potentially getting a continuation correction to correct this move here. Looks like it can have more downside. Okay, this is what I see in the most current price action point. While I do think the overall price action is good, that it's trending upwards, but I don't like the lower time frame, how we had this kind of a sharp push down and then the sideways consolidation action to correct this move, and we could potentially see the next down move like that. So that's what I see on Walmart. Shop, I think I have Shop, yeah. I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. I like we had, this is a clear impulse, right? We had a clear impulse up. This could be some sort of correction. It's a little bit slanted or ugly, whatever you want to call it, but it's a correction to potentially correct this move, and we can potentially get the next move. That's the things I like, but what I don't like about it is that we're at the top of the overall price. We're at the all-time high pretty much area, and we're just consolidation in this period. And this to me was forming some sort of like a sanding channel at the top of the structure. We had this push down, we're correcting, but again, what the price will do in this area, right? This is the previous top area. Is it going to react to this potentially for a sell, or is it going to continue to push up? But even if it push up to this area, this could just be forming some sort of structure like this, right? And then still dropping down from this point forward. And that's why I don't think the buy would be too ideal unless we just break out all this consolidation, like a clear kind of breakout and then lower time frame. And this is always going to be the most. So that's Shop. Just looking at a pretty sizable correction. This is a clear impulse, correction impulse. So if it's going to continue, I do want to see a little bit more correction. It's already kind of consolidating here on the intraday, right? So let it consolidate a little bit longer. I wouldn't just jump into the buy. Let it consolidate here a little bit in terms of this size, but at least a little bit more development in terms of price action. Okay. Hello, buddy. How's it going? So anything else, guys? Any other questions before I end the stream? Gone over all the ones I'm looking at. I've been talking for about an hour or so. Happy to answer any questions or anything like that if you guys have before I close it down. When you say lower time frame, do you have a specific entry rule? Because the structure can always change. I do. I go over this in my YouTube channel as well on what kind of entries I do in terms of how the structure develop. It's gonna take a while to explain this, but if you have time, you can check out my YouTube channel. I explain all my entry setups, kind of how I set my stop loss in terms of a lower time frame correction or structure. Okay. Um, Basically, is my stop is the most important part when I trade. I don't care too much about risk reward. I mean, I don't care too much about profit. I care more about, is my stop going to protect me from and give the price room to breathe, to move. And then first my stop needs to be making room before I look for potential target. Is it going to be at least 3 to 1 or a plus? Okay. We look at Netflix. Can you check out Apple? Yeah. Oh, Netflix actually looks pretty good to me. Good of you guys to point out these, because sometimes I don't scan it you know every time. That's why I think this looks pretty cool. So I like what I'm seeing here actually. I like here, let me just zoom out to a higher time frame. This to me is like a larger kind of a structure. Okay, we had this bullish push to the upside, we had this continuation correction, and we had another push to the upside, which is good. If we zoom to the lower time frame, this potentially could be forming some sort of a continuation structure, which I also like. We just had price broke out this structure here impulsively, and then potentially forming a continuation correction here. So looking for the buy, I think it's pretty ideal. But for me, as you guys know, wait for that breakout, wait for the continuation is my style. Just a little bit more safer that way. So that's what I see on Netflix. Actually, looks pretty clean. So I'll put that on as a watch out list. I think this looks pretty cool. Netflix, Apple. So Apple. I biased. This is clearly a bullish push to the upside. Okay, we just had this bearish push down, but to me, it's not forming a continuation correction to push down. Instead, we had a push down, but now it's just forming a reversal kind of structure, a descending channel for the reversal back up. It might be consolidating here to push the price higher. What I want to see is what the price would do kind of in this general area. Okay, see what the price would do, because I see this as a kind of an inverse head and shoulder pattern. Okay, so the price would do in this area. Is it going to react to this area and then forming a correction here to continue higher? Possibly as well. Okay, so for my bias, I do think the buy is reasonable. Okay, this is could be just a correction to correct all this, and then we can put buy move. Apple. USDs are, yeah. Yeah, this reminds me. Yeah, someone asked me some weeks ago, right? Okay, then I mentioned this while I have the bias on the strength of the dollars. This is the only one, at least the one that has the kind of pretty much a different kind of analysis. I actually see dollar ZAR bearish, even though I have a strength in dollar. But to me, what I'm seeing in terms of price action, I like how this is a clear impulse up, but there is no continuation correction. Instead, this is pretty much structure to push the price down, and then we're forming this larger continuation structure, potentially pushing the price down lower. That's just why it's totally different than all my dollar kind of the forecasts. And if we zoom into the intradays, this potentially is forming a head and shoulder pattern as well. Okay, so potentially this can be that continuation correction for this move. And that's why I don't want to touch this, to be honest. I just don't, because I have the bias on all the dollar strength, and this is pretty much going opposite. Whereas I do think the price action is valid. Don't get me wrong. It's just, but I don't want to be, and then whereas all the other dollar pairs has the opposite kind of price action in terms of direction, and that's why I would stay out on this one. Okay, that's just me personally. The way that pair move. Moving on to Nifty. Not too much on Nifty. I didn't see too much on Nifty. One guy messaged me that he entered the trade in this area, I believe. In this area, and last weekly outlook I mentioned, because we hit the previous bottom now, and the price is to it. So make sure you take your stop, move your stop or whatever. I don't see too much on Nifty, to be honest. This looks like we hit the bottom and then we just had a clear impulse up, and then if we get some sort of continuation correction here, then potentially this can be another buy move like that. Okay, that's all I see for this, but I won't. I still see the overall kind of the potential bearish opportunity on this one. If we zoom out here on a higher time frame, I still see there's a lot of move to go. It's just going to move very correctively. It's probably the best way to put it. Okay, that's why I'm not too interested in these kind of short-term buy, which I do see, but I personally won't be taking them. Can I look at JPM? Sure. Actually, I have that, I think. So to me, I'm just looking for more downside, really, based on what I'm seeing here. If we look at the price action, we have been in this, we had this bearish impulse down. Okay, this is from the COVID time, right? And we're just in this kind of a sideways continuation, consolidation. I don't want to say continuation yet, but it's clearly a correction that's forming. But because we had this impulse, we had this correction, there's just going to be a higher probability that we can get the next impulse down. Just you wouldn't know that how long or how deep this correction can go. Okay, to the top, I will be looking for a reversal opportunity, because in terms of structure, when we're at the top, of the structure, and price is showing us some sort of reversal or bearish opportunity price action, then I do think looking for the valid sell is a potential valid kind of entry. Okay. So anything else, guys? Anything else before I close? I mean, I stopped the stream. Those of you guys who are interested, I got these private message. You can add my Telegram channel, guys. It's all free for me to provide all these information. So if you're interested, you can add me on then, and then chat with us. We have a chat group, so we share information as well. So feel free to join that. Thanks, buddy. All right. So thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. I will update. I will make a London probably. I haven't decided yet, but I'll post the links in in my Telegram channel if you guys are interested for the next stream. So, stay safe, everyone, and hope to chat with everyone again soon. And happy. I want to say Mid-Autumn Festival. Those of you guys are whoever in Asia or are Asian will know this. So, see everyone next time. All right, guys. Thank you very much.